He is not like that.
Bo actually apa hanya?
He is always
Bo selalu kaham.
never bad.
Bo hanya kayak
He always works for.
Bo selalu ini kaham ni bagai selalu. Bo ini ano
He must not doubt it.
Seada urung na
And if that is a sure faith and foundation we have, our life, even in the midst of varied trials and difficulties and challenges, will thrive ahead with positive, always hoping that my God will do something greater and brighter for me.
ซึ่งเราพนักทักเนี่ยจะรับพนักไผ่เด่นซึ่งพนักปกจุดไม่ยังไง
Revive our faith tonight in our walk with Him.
บอสไอ้ชนะเลยชนะเลย
It's one day I go to church, believe God, He's nice, it is good to sing, it is good to be in the choir. But it's all together a totally different thing for you, individual, to know that God is good and for you to succeed in life.
ผมให้เราส่งวันสุดที่ตรงจะตาสุดท้ายวันเดียวกับใครโยมให้ปนให้รัวปนตรีปนกิสอายุให้พระใครตัวนู้นก็ห้ามเกี่ยข้ามไปเข้าไปได้สุดเลยนั่นก็บุตรสามเนี่ยเราจอดรถไฟของเราเด็กข้ามมาจาก
Jesus Christ, in His first public preaching, which we call Sermon on the Mount, He told a lot of things about laying a strong foundation.
Sebagai Kristo, bahwa hati kasawe, bahwa berengka, berengka aborok nongka, sini langmang, iapa, dai asugui bahasa zaknai.
We talk about Sermon on the Mount, but it is more than a sermon. It is teaching. God, Jesus Christ, in His public teaching, gave to every individual.
Berengmai nation audio teknologi, hai pada, apa ini biarkan langmang, dai mensikidah topero.
I encourage you to read the Gospel according to Saint Matthew 5, 6, and 7 very diligently when you get back home.
No kipi thangro, ni saya pas hoyno kan ki pori dihne hoyno rusung.
5, 6, 7 of the Gospel according to Saint Matthew.
Kotwa kaham matai ni pas hoy sa abono kaham ki naik klay pori make sana ini anggap no for you.
In one of those sections in that chapter, Jesus talks about two houses.
Azagawat bisa Kristo bo khorok ne no tangnya kogno toisau.
Two houses with two different foundations.
Ai no tangnai te kai ne ano kesana ni zaga.
And he describes what kind of foundation it had.
Tai bo ni no tangan ni je kesazak ne ha gerak hong gerak abro tei bo ceri buzuisau.
One was built on sand.
Khorok sa no tangnai sa bo hasin kong rukungo tangka.
The other built on a rocky ground.
Cái khorok sa no tangnai sa hangket bo hakrak eba pathor sakao ke tangka.
Both are houses.
Kerana ngok hunjado.
Both faced storm and very troubled weather.
Hung nang ngok to wati panti no tibar khop jaga eba manjago.
And then one stood, the other crushed and crumbled.
Tao ka ba angka ni no kung ni bere nok ni bere je kaisa nok kung ka ba basika te kaisa nok dong song thangka.
And so Jesus Christ says there, learn and work to build your house, your home, your life on a firm, sure foundation.
O ko ni bising tengyo Jesus Kristo bo buzukha tang pro song sa pro nang grat dong song thangya zat ang hai jagaw no nang nok klai.
And the house, if you build on a strong foundation, it will stand, it will be stable.
Tolong na hakrak sako ay patter sako nok da kang ki abo je purnawa tiber thayo bo kesai tong ne parchinai.
Think about our life as a house.
Tabo just kaisa wan sokina de nini rani langwa abo kaisa nok hai.
We all faces different storms in life.
Sini langma sang nobot tiba koton hema hai. Ab jungjan vai hanya saya vai kulun kusa vai sang manja.
Life isn't storm proof.
Langma abo nobot tiba by ship jaza hainyo.
Rain will come,
Wa tirap hainai
flood will come,
tui tol sanai
sickness will come,
kulo kusa hainai
anxieties will come,
tai wana wa singsara hainai
misunderstanding will come,
nukhongo bur buzabu chila
lack of finance will come,
rangri oba abo hainai hainai
poverty will strike,
abo tam nai chasara nang nai
you become weak physically,
tai busat koni ne durbol nai leng nai
people will hate you,
horror no chasa yang nai
you may do everything good but nothing goes good for you.
nang asa kaham klai pano ni nga kai mungsa kaham ya sang nai
Countless and numerous storm will rise up against our house, our life.
le kharaya aba hai sangjal kotor seni nuk ko phai hapanya.
But then how do you stand?
Okay, mo say, aba hayo nung bahay ka sa pasaw.
How do we succeed?
Sang bahay ka abang lai thang.
How do we withstand all these and keep going?
Sang asa ko bahay ka pasay bus nang hintana.
How can we keep our house not fallen or falling?
Sang bahay ka sini nok do, deray thang ite bahay thang ite ke.
It all depends upon the foundation upon which we build.
Aba hay ini thang mana ni kahamang thana ni bagay ke, hui na cheng pruno kahang ke deray thang ite ke songsit lang nang na.
There are regions in the world where earthquake is more common.
Hayong sako jara-jara yang siya kara saka tongo, aja ko bumikonpo gabang payo.
And there, people make houses scientifically, technically fit, so that even if it is crumbled, lot of lives will not be lost.
Abo hay area rogo bumikonpo payo no, nok rog baik ting bagay, barong ke husiar sabdan ke, teknik machine jatiro baike angay maton.
And that is done in most advanced world. In our part of the world, we are still coming up with that kind of technology.
Tiawa aba hay rong ke, je technology machine kaham istamja hawa nongo. Kung paano sini har rong ke aba hay rong.
But for you and me, who are children, God says, put your life's foundation on me, the solid rock, God Himself.
Kaya awan ba niyo basak ka sawo, o mahangi bagay nyo, noro ani tanyo nong lang manok kay song sati.
When you do that,
Jepro nyo nga hawa ke song sawan,
you will withstand earthquakes.
Ay ke na bumikon po paipro bantun paipro.
Earthquakes in your personal life,
Nini lang man ni mayong ko aba hay.
in your family,
Ning nukong mo,
in your school,
ning iskulo,
in your childhood,
nini cerai lang mo,
in your family, and when you become old.
nini nukong mo.
Every every stages of life will be stable when we take care of putting our life on God Himself.
Cái con đi thani o sini lang mo na rin to kangke o biba dera na to mo ni yak ni dera yawi kaham ke baki to mo na.
There is a young football player in America.
Amerika wo koroksa football thangnai sa to.
He is only 24 years of age.
Bo matra 24 bosor ni.
He plays for Houston, Texas.
Bo Houston Texas so thungo.
His name is C.J. Stroud.
Bini bomong CJ Stroud.
And he's a quarterback player,
Bo quarterback player
a very talented footballer.
koroksa kaham football thangnai.
I think in our part of northeastern state, football is very common.
Ang saimono sini notice baka football hoke thangnani bale hamjak.
Right? How many of you play football?
No khoro bosa football ta.
Wow, look at that. We should have a
Galang
football
na
game.
bisa. Burino ko thawa sinarake.
This man, Stroud, is a very good player.
O boro Stroud bo koroksa kaham football thangnai sia.
But he is very strong about where his trust lies, where his foundation is.
Tangke be langmo bo krak ke songsaja je langmo bo tong.
He says, when people ask him,
Je pro bo buye sangja kurke bo hai hini chao.
football has a lot of twists and turns.
Football thangane podrei porke sai tong podrei porke tong.
But at the end of the day, it's all to do with the foundation.
Hai pada obewat ni abone puila ni kaham ke songsa mu nong ka dewa.
And he says,
Tai bo hai ni saka.
and something that is sets my foundation is my faith in Jesus Christ.
Ane asak kereng mani tai bube kaham sajak mani abone pisode aba kulogo abone ane jisuni hamare si.
Yesterday,
Niya
the Indian women's cricket team played their semi-final with Australian women's cricket team.
Australia ni thangai ro bai. Sini India ni beri ro brom cricket thangai mani.
The Australian team set a very gigantic total, 339 runs to win the match.
Australia ne 300 se bala kabang klai kya khelawo.
But our team played very vigorously, in a very committed way, and they won the battle at the end.
Pia asak kabang ma klai kya thang mano. Sini India ni thangai ro khop kahang ke thas ke bhail ke par ke thangai kya. Bolong-bolong kabang hai number man.
And one of the women cricketer who played yesterday, her name is Jemima Rodgers.
Tai khorok sa tale kahang ke thangai very bin bumo ka Jemima Rodgers.
And she played a very stupendous knock.
Bo belai kahang ke jogo ke khari thaka.
She made 127 runs not out
Bo saicho 127 ta knock out klai thaka.
and took the team, sailed the team through to that very difficult storm and that goal in the victory line.
Ai kena apa yang na nai tong ni abu no noroi bo phare o lama hage sap ke bini dol no biskang.
And she became the player of the match.
Te bono a player ni asol thungkrang nai.
So at the end, when she got the award, the commentator asked a question: how did you do it? What were going on emotionally in your mind? Things like that.
Awa hage bo thungsing thangai borong gaplai mo bono senjaka bo hage nang asak klainya jarawa wahge samong sari rekha.
And she said publicly, I thank my Jesus. He alone is the one who helped me.
Te bo asak lu borok kubangan bisu ko hai saka angani jisu na hamairu bo saichuk sano oma hage klai thanani ham.
I can do it by myself.
Angani saksak bai klai mano.
It is God, my Jesus, who strengthened me.
Tiap ani sakdang muk seklainya, awet potrani Jisuni yakni subas.
And then, of course, she thanked her parents, coach, etc., etc.
Tiap ani ulo bini berenai bini yasya kerana jauh kena hambai.
And she added, these last few weeks, she and the team been going through tremendous torments and lot of difficulties, emotionally strained out, and we were crying, and she said, I've been crying almost every day in the dressing room. How do we sail through?
Bo asal ke warang zakani sawo borsak bini rumbo, balai kap kani sawo kop ke konang zakani sawo, bahai ke sawo mono senggok kelana pai mana ni nai.
Quite a few people send me the video records of what she said.
Bo kok sama kok thain pak khasak anu korsak koren borok dohot ka bini ya thai.
And I appreciate them.
Tai ang perlu balai hambai.
But I told them,
Dia ang perlu lain zakkan.
it's good to say, oh, her faith. She publicly said, I said it is good to do some introspection.
Aku kaham no, bini kok kelai sakit kenawai, bo kelai ke hani sana. Tiada bisu habai bo nanya nangusi.
Unless you, the individual, you make a decision to be firm and be strongly built on Christ Himself, God Himself, and pursue after Him, your foundation will shake, you will not be stable.
Aku bokoro, neng kok stok layai, tum sato ya farsugui, neng gerak kini ni sat ni luk nok tisaya kangke, neng abah ke kelai.
My children,
Ani kapan itu sarap?
God is inviting us, saying, I am enough for you.
Noro kaitor abah ke sarap ke masing itu. Ang simin ni namagai, neng ang bay sediba kelai mat.
I am more than sufficient for you.
Bepak ni nang manisay para kotor ko ang si.
May it be any kind of troubles and challenges, storms or needs that you go through.
Jasad parang teng nang nangay tong mani berak jingjang teng nang hangay tong mani abon yok na ni abon ni lama Jesus.
God says to you and me tonight, I am enough for all those.
Didio horo ang ni bagay ko testo ang bayo nang berak ni mana.
But He's inviting you tonight to introspect as to where you stand in your life with that foundation.
Pangke kokhe omose as hongsazatan ni kaito no naishni.
Have you taken God fully into every area of your life and say, my God is enough for me?
Na asat sorak sokaya nang na bepa bukhabay wansungabay aw kubunyo ani kaitum no ani bagay beba.
Would you be one like that house faced with all kinds of storms, but it stood and succeeded every difficulties?
Nung nang tong khabo ano ko nung asut belai hande biang di potik hangay tong kha. Hay ba no? Nung no awali sa kaplang ngay song tsat ngay hawari na maray tong kha.
In Psalms 20 verse 7,
Lokong ni 20 ni 20 ni sato hay ni chawo.
the psalmist sings like this.
O lok mong sa sa hay ni bo chawo.
Some trust in chariots, in horses, but we trust in the name of the Lord.
Baksakera coba ni korai mal kungdong te baksakera korai rakno te kung sugo tao ke chini kung sugnale subrayo kaitor ni mungno te she.
In the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 17, verse 45,
Samuel ni chapter 17 5 wa okok sao.
that chapter is all about David fighting that big giant Goliath.
Aros David bo Goliath otor masa kotor bo bai coba klaimen kok.
No one ever thought David can win this gigantic horror and battle.
A belai kirima sisa a sobo basanai raikosai. Bono mechini mana nai arkebo poituse klemanya.
But they had no other solution, so somebody said, invite this boy David, he might help.
Abang bagai no arate kono mungsalama kriken bagai osrai bo kok saitong kaba bono hari hokra singgo hokra.
And he is a shepherd.
Taibo mera merai sase.
He is not sitting on the king's palace.
Bo rahasmari o tong naya.
He is not sitting like a beautiful throne chair that you gave me.
No ano care kahama ramahai haba hayo asulai boragi.
He is not dressed like me with all fragrance and smell nice when I stand before you.
No ni pasangan japro baso bahai motong rok by case haja awahai ke basa zagya.
Stinking,
Menams
smelling,
belai bahai menam.
dirty clothes.
Ri cumro kahanya.
It's not dressed up well.
Bo kaham ke khalza silzagya.
Hair is not combed well.
Beni kenai khalza.
No one wanted him.
Keu phalsa bono
But
nangjagya.
at the end, there was no other means than inviting that boy.
Tiaba aro omahai ingkaka te mungsalama sagerja osrai nyoda.
Small boy,
Serai cikomte.
insignificant boy,
Samung nangjagya serai.
not at all counted worthy for anything other than going after that sheep and be in the forest, thick of wild animals.
Beni langmau sara thangke amer ranglo muregna sara te mungsabu so pujuktu ya.
But he came.
Tiaba bo abu
What did he say?
te botam saka.
What did he do?
Botam klanya.
It's all written there.
Abo azago sejak.
He said to Goliath and his great army,
Bo Goliath do ya bi arbi rangna haini saka.
you come with the sword,
No nengle shek the bais payo.
you come with spear,
Neng shek makal bais payo.
you come with javelin,
Neng otor ki bais payo.
you come with all the might and preparation of this world.
Neng sering bahan kerak ke coban bagi prostitusi.
But I come in the name of the Lord of hosts.
Tiada, anglet keplai syakai tu di muise di pesang pai basa saja.
And he added a little more to say, the one whom you amuse and mock at.
Oko ko saka, je kai tu nung hanya kecil ko sai tongka.
Where is your foundation?
Bos awal bagai no, nini ya pangle boro.
David, being a small boy, knew his God.
David bercerai panong, bo bini kai tu no sinio.
He always went after what God wanted.
Bo kai tu tamu nai. Kai tu nai mau no bo ya pribo.
Humanly speaking, worldly speaking, he doesn't have great things to praise and be happy about.
Borok kurus nyangai syarat tanggang keto bini thanio mung sase ka sasane grei ko.
But he had one thing,
Dia ba bini thanio kai sa jenis
God Almighty.
keplai kai ter bini ya bini
His trust was upon him.
Omor sai bini bus kang oto.
Please remember that.
Omono norang mutu kai to.
There is another story in the book of Joshua.
He kai sa Joshua guzabo bo omahai ko.
These people of Israel faced with a mighty group of people, and they want Jericho city to be seized.
O Israel do pharo borong otor do pa phan ganang bus kang borong klai kya.
No way.
Kai asitilo.
They tried everything possible in their capacity.
Kau cesta klai neka tiaba shohorno borong dog klai manan ni ten amat.
But God told them to do something very insignificant and look to be mad for any human being.
Tangke aba hajaro kai ke borong no kena thogya ko kalai sako aba ke daji dita.
We read that story in the book of Joshua, chapter 6.
Sang Joshua bisatni sayat tayo sengabun mahalo.
What did God tell them to do?
Kaitor borong tam ni
He
saya.
simply said, let every one of them make a round, march around the city, the walls of Jericho.
Kaitor saka Jericho ni at dewa chok dewa kuriwi himlayani.
Do that 7 days.
Oma hakeno 7 din.
First 6 day, you do make 1 round.
Tai 6 dino no kaisa round kentong ni.
But on the 7th day, you make 7 rounds.
Tang 7 dino no 7 bar chokro di.
Who in the world can do this kind of stuff?
Abai asal sor kotba gurne sab sa.
What kind of madness that is?
Kaitor buah kok no thagiri.
But that's what God said to his people to do.
Bangke kok le kaitor samale oma haine khlai.
They had no option, but they obeyed therefore.
Auri bangina barung te mungsa kalama grey.
And God also said,
Dai kaitor bo
when you make the 7th round, let all the priests lift the trumpet and blow horns and make sound and worship God, saying, God has done wonderful, marvelous things.
je pronora ave gurio apro alsairo bem tamai o kaitor warang se samutango warang se samutang ni ciri khok lagi sa.
And you find exactly that what happened.
Dorong saiman do akothma bu bahengka.
You, my priest, have you ever read that portion?
Sino alsairo dorong apno puta purika
You know the story, right?
dorong story saiman hayada.
That is the only way you, as a child of God, can thrive and succeed and withstand every struggles in this world.
Oma hakese nini nukhong nang sa joto zengjang no kaitor ni kok bisinte nang kaplai.
Believe in God.
Kaitor no putu khaisyo.
Make Him your foundation.
Nini songsamani krak songsawai.
Do what He says.
Bota mo no sa abno khlai.
Even when for the world around you it sounds madness and irrational, you and I simply believe what God said and do it.
Nang kaham khlai tong no bui kobor panong te. Nang abno kaitor dai kisakba nang abno kaham kurong khlai.
Please understand that.
Abno dei kisa kaham ku bucina khlai.
Psalm 1 is a very famous psalm.
Love mong ni exo. Aba belai nang kuk mani love mo.
What is that psalm all about?
Love mo tam ni sa.
It's about you and me.
Aba ke nung be ani kok.
And you and me are related and typified to a tree.
Nung bay ang abu phang hai ke thong sa za.
And the tree that its root goes down to the source of the streams will be fruition all the time, regardless of any season.
Kaisa bu phang bini yarang kuthuk thang za kang ke bo je kun season no kutung kusang tre bo kra ke basal.
It says in verse 3, you and I need to be a tree that planted at the streams, at the bank of the river.
Love mo hai ni sao nung bay te ko tiare ni Bupang Chabro Hai.
Why is that?
Akong ni kok tamo.
Because God is the source.
Tam ni kai terus bebak ni ani bagai.
For a tree, water is the source of life.
Aisyah bupang Chabro babarang bagai. Tui no ni bagi bebak.
So the tree always searches for where it can find water to nourish itself.
Oma hai ke no bupang wapang no barang tui nai ke go hai ke barang sa.
So is you and me as a child of God. God is inviting you, my child. I love you. I have everything for you. I want to renew you, recreate you, repurpose you. But then come and put your trust in me. Make your life strong and founded on me.
Tai bono anu sana nayo, tai bo sabo, nang anu no romdi, anu no putu krak ketong de, ai ke nang bupang yang baik gerak ke tong ze kake nang tongi manna
It says in Psalms 2 verse 12.
tai lop mung ni kin mai ni baro hai ni chao
Blessed are all that put their trust in God.
hamari khai jago je boro kai terno khatong nai ro
It says in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 7.
Jeremia 7 ni 7 hai ni chao
It says, blessed is the man who trusts in the Lord and whose hope is in the Lord.
hamari khai jago je boro kai terno po tiu khai tong nai te kai tong ni sakawo khatung ngai tong nai
And I like this verse in the book of Nahum,
Dai Nahum ni sijak no bang dalai
chapter 1, verse 7.
ek ni satu sijak no
I don't know, in some mysterious situation many years ago when I was a small young boy somewhere in North India, this verse stuck to my heart. Since then, this is very, very comforting a verse.
Jepro ang North India wo cerai pro kai tu ni samong sabak kai tu ngo ang apre dalai ke nang semua zarwo o kai tu kok te maneng dalai kabasa
Nahum 1:7.
Nahum ni ek ni satu
It says like this:
aro hai ni chao
the Lord is good,
kai to le kaham se
a stronghold in the day of trouble,
dalai sing jao zarwo bo trak karo mo tu
and He knows those who trust in Him.
dai bono nai tu wi to ngai rak no bo belai kaham ki sini wi tu
Do you know your God?
nang ni kai tu no site sini
How much do you know Him?
Busuk zara ni kai tu no sai
How thirsty are you? How hungry are you to know Him?
nang kai tu no sai mana bagai busuk ko ti kau te busuk ko no o koi to
How sincere and innocent are you to take God at His word for your life?
ni lang mo mo busuk ko nang ka ui ni to ngo bono mana bagai nukna bagai bina hamari
The measure in which you can answer that question will be the way you will go after God and have Him made the foundation of your life.
awa hai lama ono nang to mo awa sa zu ni man ka ke ni lang ma nai thuk nai kai tu ni wi
God knows the one who put his trust in Him.
kai to sai ma no bono utu sai tong nai ro sa bung kha
Trust Him.
abul bagai bono no khato khasang di
Run into Him.
bono mana nai gi
Always thirst after Him.
bini ukulo ko tikang mahai kang jak di
Always believe what He says.
bo tamu sa abono poi tu khai di
Even when it sounds too irrational for you, be strong and committed to obey what His word says.
nini bagai abo kotin padang thangten hai pano nang ani kai tur no kai tor ringang di fili ara bini cross no ro
Embrace God, embrace Christ into your life, and the more you get deep into Him, you will overcome every vulnerability and withstand storms.
bono ro mu tang ni bono ka bagai tang di ai ke nang nini jorawo bini hamari no lukna
In the book of 1 Timothy,
ek timothy ni sejak ko
in chapter 4,
cara dayo
there's a beautiful verse.
arwa belai nai thok ke kok
It
sejak
is
ko
said in verse 15.
pondro hai ni chawa
It says the church of the living God is the pillar and foundation of truth.
motharo ka uthang kai tong ni pala
I want you to read that verse some other time and take note of what actually it says.
angor no ulom no puriui Abo tamo saka abo na bucite huni nayo.
I have read that so many times.
Ang abo na onek berporika.
But only when our apostle father, the first Metropolitan, began to talk about Orthodox faith, and then he began to bring up these words quite often in his conversation. I began to look deep again and again into that verse, and now I know what that really means.
Sini puila ni His Holiness. But opong onek barbar sakano. Ang jara-jara buci manya. Piaba. Botam ni bagi o Timothy ni kopdo sasam nai ang jepro nai ja Orthodox kuitu ni kopdo ang apro hani mopong kaham ke kuluk jadi manka.
And I tell you my precious children,
Ang no opong no benai ka ang
my precious
hani
priests,
kapang ni besaro.
church is not just singing some songs.
Mot hale ketar mot hale ar hai de sabda nai
It
jagaya.
is not just reading the Holy Bible.
Abo jas elamak puri leja hne
It's
abo
not just making a good message, sermon.
abo jas message kama ke sai
It
de
is not just going to church on every Sunday.
abo kok di salpron no gija thang akok ya
It is not just giving tithes and offerings in the church.
abo mo thawon tide offering wa akok bisini
They're all part of the church.
abo bebak no kaisa
But church is holy.
tai mo thang ka ketha
It is the living being.
abo ka kethang manoi
It is the church of the living God.
abo ka kai toni kethang manoi
It is not of any human institution.
abo ku borok ni songsta ke samjat manaya
Church is the very design of eternal God for you and me to run into to find God and find salvation.
cha kha pai player kai toni manoi nhưng bài a za go bini pai player hamari nukta bagai bintang sering man kai
We are called to be faithful to congregate together and worship Him in the sanctuary, in the church.
sang hai ngo guitar bini nok thar phai ngai pa baksa ke bono nai tu lai bono khulum na ni abus ko
And how should be the church is very clearly designed by God through the scriptures and by the early church fathers.
kono kaisa mo thang ke a mo tha bu hai nan na abo bailo sarai sarai ke sai ra
All the truth, all the pure doctrine, all the unadulterated principles and truth of God is found in the Holy Church. Not denominations, not in some groups, no, in the Holy Church, the living God is there.
soi bo thawano kai tong ni polale tong abo jas kaisa denomination no ya kaisa mo tha songser ka abo hayanya alam bak ni sujat soi rza ko je rza mane a ko thar mo thawno kai tong ni
So how do we grow in God?
sang bahai ke ko sai tong nai
How do we lay a strong, stable, progressing foundation that never crumbles?
bahai ke sang sini ka thar mo thano nori awi tong nai ja jisu phaya sa abo ka sai tong nai ja sang snamit lang tang
It is following what the Holy Church teaches.
abo kan ke ya thar sini je ka thar mo tha tong ne ar za ka thar mo thano kulo go hime
It is believing and following what the 12 apostles through Jesus Christ passed on to us.
abo kan ke jisu ni ulo jisu ni sagri ro bahai ke ka thar mo thano ya prik lang tha abo sa soi mo tha ya aro srithar ka ka se suen ka se ka thar
It is listening and learning and understanding and following those first 3 to 5 century church fathers who, being the ones, these 12 apostles worked together and passed on the truth which Jesus Christ gave them.
kaisa soi mo thang ni mana ni abo jisu kristo bo roi nyai bini sagrang perangai asagri je tui mani kelai mani abono getar motha getar motha no asana nang.
We must not forget that.
Abono sang pokoknya.
So in our church,
Aba haikeno sini Believeristan Church so.
Sunday divine liturgy is very important.
Getar kopti salo. Sang sini tradition je mani mo kelai mo abo berena.
We have the Sunday divine liturgy book.
Sini kopti sang brom no divine liturgy.
We did not make it.
Abro senanya.
We just follow what the first century Christians followed.
Abong kahake ui la ne yapang ne Christian rob je klaiman.
And our first
first
Metropolitan worked hard to make our church a strong, solid, unadulterated, pure church with all of these things so that we don't be swayed away, strayed away, drifted away by all the storms and the doctrines and teachings that comes and pummels the church and destroys us.
Kau kaham ka mungkin narate. Sini uila ne Metropolitan. Bo puya saya kalendai sino ketar mothano. Uila ne mota hake. Tai original mota ke selama bagai bo horpung satu kelangka. Ahake all what hawo muksa father ni hadri hanya tai apa itu dia mau serai sida ke guitar ke original motang itu napa.
We must be grateful to Him.
Boleh bagai sini huila ni.
We must be thankful to the Lord every day for the life of our first father.
Sini huila ni pani bagai kai to no sampai ramang to na.
He looked all around with some 300 different languages and all kinds of groups, people groups. How do we keep our church as one pure church?
Bo all tin chota kok samai do pharatoi yasan guri bawan suka bahai kese sini mo thale aisha original fresh mo thale to.
And God is the one who directed him.
Te kai to avna klai.
And his life was sold out for God and His purpose. So all what he listens and tunes his life toward was all those divine things, not for his human inclinations and temporal satisfaction. So we must say, I am going to be faithful and true and committed to my church. Learn all the truth of this solid foundation so that our life will not be destroyed by all the wiles and schemes of the devil. We have a small book called Family Liturgy. And our Metropolitan has taken lots of effort to put together that small book.
Why did
he do that? He could have written some big volumes of book other than this small one. He did it because he saw you. He saw all different children and young and old, all the families of our church across the globe in different dioceses. And he said to himself, if I make them keep praying as a family, worshiping as a family, making the sign of cross as a family, doing that small family liturgy every day as a family, they will stand strong.
Ông hai cái đó xin lúc không kran tông mà này, chỉ con tên liturgian bising tây, sang aro sai suri kang ke, tai sang prosni mari klai kang ke, besar bebat jago thang sa ke, abo night talk ngui chap sa ke.
And I'm sure you have that in your language.
Tai ni kok thi bai abo tong ne pun chuk lai.
Take that book.
Abo no rong na thi no.
Take it to your home.
Nu không tông ding.
Practice it.
Tai practice khai đi.
Do it.
Abo no khai mang tong ne.
Believe in it.
Tai pun chu khai.
Make it your lifestyle.
Abo no chini loi khai
The
đi.
evening come, instead of running around for different individuals staying and WhatsApp and TV and all, you make a discipline. Come as a family, sit around the family altar and say, Pida, Putra, और पवित्र आत्मा की महिमा हो.
Ya shekara mobile mang time cross khai TV mang time cross khai ya shekara hanyo tam nai time ya shekara roman sai. Jora kaham nai altar busang phai nai. Ha sajo te palakatha ni lo.
Acknowledge God.
Kai to no muncul lagi.
Give Him the prime place in your family, in your individual life, in all dreams and ambitions and desires you have.
Ini look ho kai to no na pui la khaton di.
And then you will have a strong foundation.
Tai om hakeno no adom krat hong krat.
We have a lot of small books that talks about faith of our church.
Sini kaisa bisa si kontek tongo aro kok sago sini mo thane poit ni ko.
Take them,
Avna nadi.
read them,
Pori di.
study them,
Avna naklai di.
teach others,
Tai buno preng.
practice them,
Tai avno loi klai di.
and you will find life.
Tai aro nang langa mana.
You know, I myself have officiated the Holy Communion many times.
Angsa sini kethar suranya panda avno kebang klai kya.
In many ways,
Kebang zaga.
in many forms.
Kebang no.
Because I also grew from different background of faith.
Tam ni ke anggo kubun mo thani phai mani.
But then, as I began to understand what it means we call Holy Eucharist, it is not just simply somebody coming with a bun, roti from bakery. No, don't make it that cheap. It is the sure foundation, Jesus Christ Himself given to you, so that we eat of His flesh, drink of His blood, and have life eternal.
Suranya panda no sang Eucharist no. All Eucharist no ang pui la ka. Muka. Omo Jesus ni samani ko mo ani bahan, mo ani thei. Omo belai serious ni ko belai nang puk mani samong sri.
Take those things seriously.
Omo ayo neglect ta kai di. Omo ayo belai serious ke na de apo sen mo.
And pray, Lord, please give me the grace and wisdom to build my life on you, the sure foundation, you yourself.
Tai sur de kai to ngana phan de ai ke ani lang mo ekdom soi ke chong sawe thang manani.
Say, Lord, give me the grace and wisdom to be faithful to my church and all the teachings I've got, so that I find salvation and be certain that I'm protected from all the other bad elements of the devil.
Tai sur de kai to thani o kai to ana phan de ai ke ang ane mo tha bai cheng ran ye we o to krak ke phet ke tong ei thang man priya sa ni san san sang no tang.
Please pray, Lord, help me that I rely on you. I trust in you more than anything else, always and for everything.
Tai sur de o kai to ang priya san no sang ro ni bu sang no tong ei faithful o to krak borok ei gloria we tong manane.
And so we must have that strong trust and a foundation that is unshakable.
Aba haino loria ulat taklaya udrumudraya aba hai kerat hong kerat oitu baikya pasik tongmani hamari baik tongmana bagai suradi.
I will say one more thing to you for a few more minutes and then we will conclude tonight.
Ante kisi dara kolong nagla te kisah kong sanai abon pore nernorohorna.
God is inviting always all of us to worship Him.
Kaito bos hal prono suno ringo bono kulongnani.
What is the first book in the Holy Bible?
Bible ni puila ni bisa ke rumah utama. Kok rumah utama? Yapa.
Okay. Genesis
Genesis Yapa.
chapter 1.
Chapter 1 ni.
That chapter talks about creation.
Chapter ro senamsat pani kok no tuiseng ma.
And there in the first verse it says,
Puila ni ekon mo ay sajak tongo.
in the beginning,
Sirishitiwo Yapa.
God created.
Kaito bos nangka.
Okay, you go and read that some other time.
Dai oma ekeno poriti.
God is the creator.
Kaito nangka senang naisa.
He don't destroy things.
Bo dong soklaya.
He only creates.
Bo song
He only makes.
Bo senamang tango.
And the Holy Bible says even a wick that is almost losing out its life, he will not stop, burn out.
Bo kathar Bible hain chago bo klaimen abo nostong thangla khamu thangla.
He is trying to give life all the time
Bo sapron no kathang langma abo mang nanai.
because he himself is life.
Tam ni ke bo satcha bo hai.
Now, when God created man,
Jepro kaito bo borogos nangka.
he did not say by his words, let there be a man.
Bo bono oro borong thang ni bo salia.
But all other creation, he did by his word.
Piaba kubun senamsa rono ke bin kok thebe ke bo senamka.
It says in the Holy Bible,
Kathar Bible hai ni chaw.
everything was formless and empty.
Aro musago grei. Kono tongo ni grei asa ko.
He brought form.
Bo apna no bo senamka.
He filled the emptiness.
Bo akhali ja.
Then it says he separated light and darkness.
Dai po aro munakni pohon no sekaka.
And it says in the Holy Bible, God is light.
Dai Bible hai ni saka kai turung kha pohon.
It's never said in the Bible that God is dark.
Bible o mai kok thai chim sikak rei kai to bo munak ne.
Darkness has nothing to do with our God.
Sini kai tur bai munak muk sak khanya.
So in his creation, he separated light from darkness.
Bini senam prono bo munak bai pohon no sekaka.
For the light he called day, and for darkness he called night.
Bo pohon no saungka te munak no bo horungka.
And it says in these Psalms 19,
Dan lok ni unisha hai ni saka.
the heavens declare the splendor, the glory of God.
Supraha kai tong ni phan no tơi sak lai tong ni sin sa sa.
What about you?
Ni ni les la bu ba.
What about me?
Ani le bahai.
We are the most celestial, beautiful creation out of all other creation God has done.
O hai ni bibak sang dan sai pa no. Nung bai han no zot tu selai nang kuk mani kes nam za.
But all other creation,
Bobon tes nam za.
what does that mean?
Abo ortho tamo.
It means
Abo ortho
sun, sun,
sa
moon,
tal
stars,
athukri ro.
all the celestial beings,
O bibak je sin sa sa bak sa tong na.
mango tree,
Dai phang wa.
jackfruit tree,
Dai chini thai tong.
splendor of God.
O bibak ro se kaitong niya pa senamjak mabo bono hambairi.
They understand their Creator.
Borong se senamnai sano mutu klainte buci mano.
He says in the book of prophet Isaiah,
Diari aja ni